I came back and I want to check something first. Oh, the quality is very good. Okay, so it's the audio is okay. Want to check that. Thank you for waiting. Right now I will start sight reading those things that requires for the philharmonic work. Tell me in the comments if the sound is okay or not. Somehow it works. Okay. This symphony has 11 pages on the first violin. Okay. Two, three. Two, three, four, three, two. Okay. Oh, what digitation I have here. So here it's What the heck? Here says the second chord, but I believe it's the fourth chord. This here is three trees. Mi, sol, la. Fa. Holy cow, it changes. It changes a lot. This is like a little bit complicated, the first part, but it's not impossible to make. For example, Okay. So weird. Okay, the second movement is kind of okay. Scherzo is 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Dum tara 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 tara. Dum tara 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 dum. It's not like the second movement, it's the kind of a sight reading thing, it's not something to be practiced. Like, it's C major, I believe, or A minor. It's Fa, La, Mi, La, it's A minor. And it's like on division, and I make the down division because the violin solo. And it's here starts to be fun a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On the Oh, 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 it's fa becar. And the trio is Si bemol here. Si bemol here. Okay. The trio. Okay, here is as you can see, guys, okay, so here is not something so complicated as I thought it will be. One, and needs to be practice. And it's okay. That's it. And this wonderful here on the A string. Okay, boring, and here is boring. Fun fact about this violin concerto by Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy, even that is so tragic and so dramatic and so romantic, the story isn't like this. Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy, when he made this violin concerto, it was something about the 19th century thing that obviously it went also in the 20th century until the present, is that he was Jewish, and in the 19th century and even in the 20th century, with you know about World War II, I believe I don't speak something bad. It was like this Jewish discrimination in the Germany, and he couldn't go back to his mother country, and is something that felt inside him, a sort of pain, a sort of because with all that racism then, and he kind of made this violin concerto as a token of his internal feeling about this situation, and that's why he made it. But I want to search it. I don't want to say something wrong, because I feel like I said something wrong. Okay, let's find it. Okay. Well, you can see it. Well, Felix Mendelssohn composed his violin concerto așa, commonly referred to as his second violin concerto, that was written for his close friend and estimate Ferdinand David, who was also the concertmeister of Leipzig Gershow's Orchestral ensemble Mendelssohn conducted. Close friendship with Ferdinand David had a long-standing friendship dating back to their youth. David's virtuosic skill and musical insight greatly influenced the concerto's technical demands and expressive character. In fact, Mendelssohn sought David's advice during the composition process, refining many violin passages with his input. No, it wasn't because of this discrimination. What? Mendelssohn wanted to break away from the traditional concertos of the like the classical models of Mozart, of Beethoven, introduced innovations, starting with the solo violin immediately instead of the orchestra presenting By the time he wrote his concerto, was established composer with a clear, mature style. He sought the combined technical ability to the violin repertoire. The concerto was met with immediate acclaim. Today it remains one of the most beloved. Okay, but it was. I heard a story from a professor because I heard from a professor down my in the high school. Of the Jews in 19th century Germany. Germany? What? I don't want to say bad things. I'm on live stream, Christian. I need to. Okay. Felix Mendelssohn. Bartholdy. I don't want to say rubbish things. German composer and pianist. In Leipzig, where is? Fortunately, this glass was empty. Okay, so bam. Maps. Okay. No, you know where I stay. Oh fuck. You didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing. Okay. Fuck. No. Shit. Man. I couldn't just do this. And you could waited a little bit. Okay. So Leipzig, Germany. Okay, it's in Germany. It's okay, Christy. It's okay. Okay, bam. People may. Okay. In Germany. Okay. This is an interesting perspective, but there is no strong historical evidence to suggest that Mendelssohn was explicitly composed as a response to Jewish discrimination. Some background in the politics is understandable why some might interpret his music through the lens. Born into Jewish family, Mendelssohn is the grandson of the famous Jewish philosopher Moses Mendelssohn. His family converted to Christianity when Felix was a child, and he was baptized as a Lutheran. His father even added Bartholdy to their surname to emphasize the Christian identity. But his Mendelssohn Jewish heritage remained a complex part of his identity. Lived in a time when anti-Semitic attitudes were widespread, even in intellectual and artistic circles. So that professor that told me is wrong. Okay, don't judge him. Mendelssohn faced subtle forms of discrimination throughout his career, particularly after his death, when his music was suppressed by anti-Semitic figures like Richard Wagner, later on the Nazi regime. Oh. Okay, this is hard, man. I don't think that it was okay to say that word on the internet. Because it's YouTube and I don't want to make something wrong or to say something bad. So that I watched Andrew Tate, so Even if Mendelssohn didn't consciously write the concerto with these ideals in mind, listens bring their own experience in this curricular awareness. So, okay, so I was wrong. Close friendship with Ferdinand David. Okay, innovate artistic vision. So it was his own composition that he gave some things new in the music nowadays. But it's a beautiful violin concerto, even that is played after played after played after played after played 1,000,000 times. It remains a beautiful violin concerto. Okay. I played this in the orchestra. Okay, so I know what I will deal later. That Felix Mendelssohn first violin concerto. We are now playing the first violin concerto. So it's okay. This first page is acceptable. It's like I'm playing Mozart. Okay, so it's getting interesting. It's like Mozart. Okay. It's like playing Mozart. And I was worried about this. Okay, so God helped me. So I thank Him because He helped me in everything today, and I'm grateful. I will play again tomorrow these orchestral things, and after that I will came back and I don't know, I'll do other things. I don't know. Right now I'm feeling to share some things with you because I want to search much more about this with Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy, because I want to make something clear, and I want to start making some short content, but short content based on those informations, because I heard something, but it's not right. It's something. Jakob Ludwig Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy. Oh, he had other names. Woo! Okay, check this out. Okay, right now I want to put the image like this. Easy does it, Christy. Right now you know that I'm Romanian, and right now you know where I stay, and it's not okay. I will try to keep the image like this. Oh, the camera. Check this out. My palm. Okay, I retract. Okay, Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy. Nobody says something about his. Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy. The Wedding March. Man, I see my check this out. I see my live stream here. I search Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy and I see my live stream here. Oh my god. I'm screwed. Because if somebody clicks on it and he finds what was back, I'm fucked. But I have one watching now. What the heck? Boy. What the heck? Okay, so I'm back here. I thought that my live stream isn't working, but as I see here, everything is alright. And I have just one viewer that actually is me, that viewer. But I am grateful that I have just myself here. Okay, so Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy, and I appear here. If I search Schumann, Robert Schumann. Oh. I want to see if my live stream is also here. Oh, my live stream is also here. But I don't know a thing about Schumann. No offense, pianists around the world. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a guy that practices the violin here on live streaming, so I don't know. Let's find it. Stay like this. Okay. I will stay and I will search it right now. Robert Schumann. Whew. Okay, so Right now is nobody's. It's writing something on the chat, so I will close the chat. You need to see my my face. Okay, so Robert Schumann, 8 June 1810 to 1856, was a German composer. Okay, and because I read Schumann, and every family that has man at the final, I believe they are Jewish, and I don't know why, but it is a coincidence of the names. It is something that is related. I don't know to this, like to I will not continue this discussion because it sounds wrong, and I don't want to discriminate. I don't want to discriminate. I'm just a guy that practices the violin, please. I don't want to harm anybody. I'm a chill guy. No. Okay. Okay, cringe moment, but cringe moment. Boy. Okay. Robert. Bam. Okay. Bam. Robert Schumann. Okay. We can Britannica. In România, portret Robert Schumann. Un muzician excepțional. Nice. Oh. What we have here entertaining. I mean, we have audio podcast with Schumann. What?
Hello, my friends. Welcome to Top Classical.
Okay, so do you hear a thing? Nope. I don't believe that you hear a thing. Audio window capture. Okay, so
Present a short
oh man. Okay, like now it works.
biography about Robert Schumann. Robert Schumann, born on June 8, 1810, in Zwickau, Germany, was a renowned composer, pianist, and influential figure in the Romantic era of classical music. He is best known for his expressive and deeply emotional compositions, which captured the essence of human sentiment and imagination. Schumann's musical journey began at an early age when he displayed exceptional talent as a pianist.
Okay.
However, a hand injury prevented him from pursuing a career as a virtuoso performer. Undeterred
Let me
from
read. This is like basic Adobe Premiere Pro edits. However, a hand injury prevented him from pursuing a career as a virtuoso performer. Underrated Schumann redirected his focus towards composition and music criticism. Oh. Okay.
As a pianist. However, a hand injury prevented him from pursuing a career as a virtuoso performer. Undeterred, Schumann redirected his focus towards composition and music criticism. In his early years, Schumann immersed himself in the vibrant artistic scene of Leipzig, where he studied music theory and composition.
Okay.
He became part of a close-knit group of musicians known as the David's Bundler, the League of David, a fictional society he created to advocate for the progressive and innovative music.
That shit sounds like some mafia, some musician mafia. Okay, it's not a shit. Excuse me, but that sounds like it's a group of mafia. A musician, the group of David, like the Peaky Blinders. Okay. Shut up, voices in my head.
Music of the time. Throughout his career, Schumann composed a vast body of work, including symphonies, chamber music,
Okay.
choral compositions, and later German
Okay,
art
that
songs.
sounds fair.
His piano music, such as the renowned Carnival and Kindersinnen, showcases his ability to evoke various moods and emotions with delicate melodies and intricate harmonies. Schumann's personal life was marked by his deep love for Clara Wieck, a highly accomplished pianist and composer. Despite the opposition they faced from Clara's father, they eventually married in 1840. Clara's unwavering support and artistic collaboration greatly influenced
The times there in the 19th century and the 20th century at the beginning, when you had a girl that you loved, you had it for life. Right now you have it for 1 year, 2 years. in the best way 4 years, 6 years, but this is marvelous. And I feel good for him. But I hope that he's praying for us.
Schumann's creative output. However, Schumann's life was also plagued by mental health struggles.
You're a musician, you deal with it. You can't be a musician and don't have mental health struggles. I mean, I hope that in one day I can find a musician without a mental health struggle. Ah, hey Christy, I'm Christy. Nice. How are you? I'm feeling okay. You? Yeah, okay.
He experienced bouts of severe depression and auditory.
Ole. Aoleu. I don't have mental health. I have just a problem with anxiety. I'm full of energy and I will make it. I will be what I want to be in this life and nobody can take it from me. By order of the God himself. If you want something from life, pray to God for him. And God will give you a lot of struggle, a lot of not pressure, but a very hard mission, very hard steps. But the whole idea is don't give up. 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 Okay? Good.
Hallucinations, which ultimately led to his confinement in a mental asylum in 1850.
Oh, man. This is something like schizophrenia-ish thing. Like audio hallucinations. Any sound that you hear as a schizophrenic I believe their voices, or even if he's playable, their voices, and I feel sorry for him.
4. Tragically, he spent the final years of his life in a state of declining mental and physical health, passing away on July 29, 1856.
Man,
Robert Schumann's contributions to the world of music were revolutionary.
nice.
His compositions were marked by their introspection, poetic depth, and innovative harmonic language.
Okay.
He played a crucial role in expanding the possibilities of piano music, particularly in the realm.
Man, I try to be serious, but when I see this edit, that words, I remain like triggered.
Realm of character pieces. His lasting legacy as a composer and his devotion to musical expression continue to inspire generations of musicians and music lovers alike.
Oh, this is, how is it called? It's it's a thing on composers and countries in Europe that they put the instruments in a sort of placement, like for those who knows, or for those who doesn't know, because I believe it can be here also non-musicians, and I'm grateful that there are non-musicians here. I don't know the places, but I don't know where was born these placements. For example, nowadays we use like the positioning of the every like violin 1, violin 2, like is the violin 1 in the left, how you are like a spectator and you watch an orchestra. The violin first is on the left, like you can see it because they are in the front here, here. The second violin is after them, is kind of close to the violin 1 in the part that goes in the middle of the scene. The violas here, close to the violin 2, and the cello that is face to face with the violin 1, kind of. And after that, in the back of them is they're going in the back of the cellos are double basses, obviously, and after that it goes like this. In the back, starting from the left of the scene to the right, is the horns, the clarinets, the horns, the clarinets, the flutes, in the back of the flutes there are the bassoons. Okay, I didn't know, I don't know why why I laughed. Okay, after bassoons are clarinets. After clarinets there are trumpets. Close to the trumpets are trombones and tuba. And on the back of the scene, like up, as you can see here on the image, it stays like it should be here in the back, but nah, that's it with the concert halls and how big they are. In general, the percussion is put it where he has space. In general, it's in the back of the instruments that needs like air instruments. And kind of that's it. Now you can see here violin 1, cellos, double basses, violin 2, and here the order that I said to you. I don't know, one can be German, one can be, I don't know, Austrian. Nowadays, the order that I said to you is used everywhere. So, that's it. I don't know. But it's tragic that Schumann ended in an asylum. I don't, even to my worst enemy, I don't want him to go to an asylum. It's sad. It's sad. I don't wish to know. I don't wish to nobody to go there.
Like.
Okay. Thanks, Top Classical Music, for this short content about Schumann. I laughed about his his how is it called, editing, but I mean, there is a lot, and if this content with this edit can achieve these subscribers, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, so next to
Hello, my friends. Welcome to Top Classical Music. On composing.
Is the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's.
I'm John Banther, and this is Classical Breakdown. From classical WETA and wasn't able to do, so this made Schumann really well read and knowledgeable in music, but
Okay, I will not stay and hear all of this, but it sounds genuine. My man Bobby Schumann love it. Lex will create is the Bobby Schumann. Don't laugh, Christy. I laugh because I want to laugh.
I'm John Banther, and this.
Well, this man did a very, very good thing. I believe I will stay with you and listen to these sort of things because it appears genuine. Like, check this out. Why did Copland write the Lincoln portrait? Like, it's full of art. Your guide to Gioacchino Rossini, to Beethoven, your guide to Beethoven's Violin Concerto. Whoo! And I didn't listen to them. This, holy cow, I need to listen to this. I don't care. And music of Fanny Mendelssohn, the sister of Mendelssohn. Ravel, Bolero. Tragic also, Ravel, that had Alzheimer. Also a disease that I don't wish to have. I don't wish to anybody to have sort of these mental diseases. Like, man, this. Well,
I'm John Banther, and this is Classical Breakdown.
I'm sorry, guys. I want to hear about this.
From WETA Classical in Washington, we're your guide to classical music. In this episode, I'm joined by WETA Classical's Evan Keeley, and we're talking about one of the most beloved concertos for the violin, Beethoven's Violin Concerto in D major, Opus 61. But it wasn't always so popular, as we'll learn. We'll show you what to listen for, how Beethoven approached the violin differently, and we glean unique insights from writings and video of the big soloists today. This concerto is so ubiquitous, so popular, so beloved, you might think it's been performed and loved by everyone ever since Beethoven put it to paper,
Nope.
but that is not the case,
Nope.
as we'll learn in this episode. And along those lines, Evan, I think one might even be able to loosely sort of describe this as a cult classic.
Yeah, certainly a classic.
And Beethoven wrote this in 1806 in Vienna for a violinist named Franz Clement, who was
Yep.
a virtuoso and really at the peak of his popularity around this time. He was about 25 years old, and it got its premiere in December of that year, but things did not go
20 years old. Whoo. Okay. I wonder how they dealt with this, like how they dealt with this performance nervous thing before the scene and in the scene. I need to make a guide about that. I don't know. I struggle a lot, but I need to make a guide about this. But after I can be sure that I got rid of that. Let me know, should I take some medicines, some ashwagandha, some ashwagandha, rhodia rosea, phosphatidylserina, magnesium, omega 3, fish oil, GABA. I need to take some supplements. I need to get to doctor. I don't know. I need to get to a doctor and see what do I have. I just need to take some medicines sometimes in a time, because I need to deal with it, and if I can deal with this problem with some medicines, I can go to exams and I could make the exams very good. I mean, in no time, even if I get, I don't know, a bad note or something like that, I just need something to lower my cortisol level. This is what I need.
quite as expected with the concerto, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, while we've heard this performed and recorded so many times, I am telling you there are things that will surprise you. Even for me, Evan, there are aspects of this that I had never thought of before. some might not even know there's an entirely other instrument that the concerto's been written for, and actually even another that I didn't even know about. There's a lot here.
Yeah, I just getting into this episode with you, John, as we've been preparing for this
No,
classical
it's,
breakdown
it's
episode.
kind of a
You've known
podcast.
this- I've
It's
known this piece intimately
just a
since I was a
podcast.
kid,
Mm.
and I'm still discovering things about it.
And I think this is a work that is very emblematic of Beethoven. If you can understand some of the things happening here, I think you'll have the tools to unpack a lot of his other music as well, and there's a lot here that is quite easy to understand. And maybe we can play a game, Evan, as we jump into the first movement here. We play the concerto, and then we'll stop it when we need to, have something to say. Okay, we have to stop there already, Evan, and be a little annoying because that opening is so intriguing. There is so much happening with just a couple of notes. Today it sounds, almost mundane, but back in 1806,
Yeah.
this would have grabbed people's attention.
Yes, because wow, percussion.
Yeah, in the
Bam,
21st
bam,
century,
bam.
we think, okay, this is fine, this is
Bum,
interesting. But yeah,
bum,
1806, this is a pretty unconventional opening for any piece of music, certainly for a violin concerto.
This is a type of work that, when an orchestra plays it for the first time, when you play an orchestra, when you have a solo line or something, you don't want anyone looking at you. That's
Okay, check it out.
This is a type of work that, when an orchestra plays it for the first time, when you play an orchestra, when you have a solo line or something, you don't want anyone looking at you. You learn that pretty quick in youth orchestra. Don't look at the person playing a solo. But, when you're older, things are a little bit different. If I was playing bass and the timpani opened like this, I would turn to my friend and mouth, "What are you doing?"
What is this?
And they would laugh and shrug and just point to the part,
Facts.
that kind of thing.
Blame the composer.
But a reason I really wanted to get into this episode was because of big-time violin soloist Augustin Haderlich. And he's done some pretty fantastic videos on this concerto, especially for violinists,
Yes,
like
that
half-hour
I
series
watched.
videos on this. And I want to play the first minute of what he says here about this concerto because it explains everything, I think, about this opening.
The motive that runs through the full first movement is first played by the timpani at the very start, that the timpani plays. And these repeated notes, every time they return in the piece, they have a slightly different character, a slightly different meaning. Sometimes it's like a question, sometimes it can be quite dramatic when it happens. It's actually quite harmonically shocking that it would be. Tritone interval, so there it's actually it's extremely dramatic. Some instances of the motif seem pleading that it's like reaching to the next bar.
Who knew there is so much to say with 4 quarter notes? Literally one of the first things you learn page 1 in band class, which seems so boring. No one wants to play. Let's get to the fun stuff. Here for Beethoven, no, there are all kinds of things that need to be done with just these quarter notes. And are they long? Are they short? Do they change harmonically? And so forth.
Yes.
One of the things that makes Beethoven so great, that may be less obvious, we listen to his music, it's so inspiring and heroic, and yes, that's marvelous, but
Wait. This is nice. And the thing about Beethoven and the thing about every classical composition, because the violin concerto is wrote in a classical way, harmonically speaking. I like the way that you are the missing part of this violin concerto. You are the missing part in a way that you need to build and to build, and you need to make a sound, a genuine and original sound, in a way based in the feeling of this chords, these harmonically steps, because the point of this classical construction is based on these crescendos and decrescendos that sometimes they are not noted there. So you can just put, you just need to put your brain to work there. Like how I made it when I started to work on the second movement and the third movement, and I stayed and I put it every crescendo decrescendo everywhere, because I thought that this should go, the phrase should go like this, because how can I say it? How is it called when you say the steps? Not the steps. Shut it, Kiristi, with I'm sick of Let's try and speak less humans, as humans. Okay. Okay, scale degrees, musical steps. So I like about that because every time, like the dominant and leading tone, they are every time they are so tensed. Is so much tension there when this scale degrees are. So all the tip that I can give you on how you can think about the phrases, analyze it harmonically to see where the scale in what scale degree are you, and if you see that the scale degrees are going to the subdominant or dominant or leading tone, and there is not a crescendo or decrescendo right there, it's creating tension. That's why you need to make a crescendo. But if it's not going there and it's going to the tonic, you need to make a decrescendo every time. And this is the beauty, because this is a common pattern that is beautiful, simple, and you can use it in every classical and Baroque. Why not? Even in Baroque it works, this thing. So if it went to the dominant or the leading tone, but the leading tone has altered, okay, if it's not altered, it cannot make a tension that much, or no, don't listen to this. Like if it's a leading tone and a dominant, every time is a crescendo if it's going there. If it's going to the tonic, for example, it's going 3, 2, no, the 3, 6, 4, no, 3, 6, 3, 4, 3, 2, for an example, because it can be. This is the crescendo, because it's going to 1. This is the beauty in the I like this beauty on the classical music. And yes, now you'll say to me that Christy, but in the romantic and the impressionism and these areas is not applying this thing. Yes, but the main thing about these periods is that kind of all the things are already noted, and you just don't stay and write it crescendos, decrescendos anymore, unless if it's a piece that has classical influence. Oh, if it has classical influence, I don't see a problem if you can analyze it and put some crescendos and decrescendos. It's a beauty. It's a beauty, this thing. Yes. If it's romantic, I don't know what to say. I mean, that's why I'm staying and practicing here and learning with you some things, because even I want to become much better, and even I want to learn with you about this.
He's also one of the most economical composers ever. Every measure, every note, there's something packed into it that's very significant. He's able to say a great deal with very little material in a way that
very material, very. How did he say it?
hardly ever. That's marvelous. But he's also one of the most economical composers.
What did you say? You just saw his violin concerto. How shredded is that paper? Where is it? How shredded is that paper? It's very economical. I want to show you this, guys. Like, wait. Beethoven violin concerto. You must look. Okay. So. Yes, yes. This is the manuscript. Very economical. Watch this. You will see shredding. Bam, bam on the pages. It's very economical, yes. It's very economical. On the paper, I don't see that. But on the paper, I don't see that. But check this out. Why the P image is so big? Okay, so very economical. 4 pages not written. Okay, so shredded, one shredding. It's very economical because he's not destroying other pages, but he's destroying the pages himself. What the heck is that? Okay. Man, if I were so marvelous. Oh, he wanted to do what here? What? A blank page. Why? What did this page had, man? I don't understand. Where is that shredded page? Oh my god. Blank page. It's very economical. Oh, very economical. Good. Oh yes, very economical, very economical. And I can understand everything. What the heck? Very economical. Okay, Christy, don't judge. Here.
Ever. Every measure, every note, there's something packed into it that's very significant. He's able to say a great deal with very little material in a way that hardly any other composer can do. And we really see that in this concerto. Beethoven is, among other things, a rhythmic composer. He uses a lot of these very small ideas from which to expand and build an entire work. So we have this four-note motif with the timpani starting the piece. Very strange thing. One of the things about Beethoven, he's an innovator in so many ways, and we might forget he's an innovator when it comes to the role of the timpani. Nowadays, we hear the timpani doing all kinds of interesting things. We're not surprised by it. But before Beethoven, the timpani was kind of an added color to certain rhythmic things. You think about, or maybe like a martial aspect.
I can agree on that. It's very rhythmical. And this is a very good thing. And is a thing that put a print in all other pieces in the future, on his dad's future, on the how is it called, ancestors, and what do you have, apprentices? No. Okay, Google Translate, because I am unable to know words. Okay, Google Translate English Romanian. Yes. Descendants. Okay.
You think about the Hallelujah chorus in Handel's Messiah. It's emphasizing things, it's adding color, but it's not a solo instrument.
No.
And then Beethoven comes along. Here's a violin concerto. We're expecting to, of course, there's going to be an orchestral intro before the violin comes in. That was normal in 1806. But for the timpani to have a solo, not only for the timpani to have a solo at the very beginning, for that solo to introduce the motivic element that's going to guide the whole movement. This really gives you a sense of Beethoven's incredible originality. Four-note motif, a very simple motif, and he builds an entire movement, this whole musical journey, on this very simple thing that he says right away at the very beginning, and we're certainly seeing that here in the violin concerto.
I love how you explain that, Evan. A great Beethovenian aspect, something small in the beginning that gets expanded, like the opening of the fifth or the third or the first symphony, and so on. And here, the orchestra plays alone this entire opening section in which we hear the quarter note motive, do all those different things that Hadelich mentioned, and the orchestra is introducing a lot of the thematic material, and there are also some more Beethovenian aspects here as well. I think one that is just absolutely one of my favorite things is how he writes these long stretching lines over moving more turbulent counterlines, like in the lower string, something scalular or like an arpeggio. And these long lines, you can see almost like a ball being thrown like hundreds of feet. You can see this beautiful arc, and you know exactly where it's going to land. And you'll notice, after the soloist comes in, that there is a particular kind of sound in this concerto and really throughout, and that is because of who Beethoven was writing for at the time, Franz Clement. So in this piece, we're not finding moments where the violin is having to put out a huge amount of sound like we find in the Tchaikovsky or the Sibelius concertos that come much later. This is because Clement, while an outstanding virtuoso, could do almost anything on the violin, he was coming from a different school, a different era of violin playing, where he did not have this massive sound. It was more, I believe, an emphasis on resonance rather than projection. And so he had this very clear, very delicate sound where he was not playing lots of fortes and fortissimos, so there's a lot of softer dynamics
Yes.
here, and also a lot of things that are very, very high, in the high register, that just seem to really just almost float from the stage when you hear this live.
Yeah, I think it's a style and a school of violin playing that really emphasizes the ability to project a great deal of meticulous detail with a lot of feeling and a very delicate style that's still very nuanced and very expressive.
Yes.
One of the things I love about this concerto, John, is you have a solo part that's certainly very virtuosic. Any violin virtuoso will tell you it's a very challenging piece to play, but it's not a showpiece in the same way as some other concerti are. It's not like I don't mean any disrespect, but like Pablo de Sarasate, you think of the Carmen Fantasy, something where there's just this incredible pyrotechnics and you expect smoke to be rising
Yeah.
from the fingerboard. And you
Man, I show you pyrotechnics, what means pyrotechnics. Okay, I can... Okay, this is pyrotechnics, no. Okay, I will not play this. I don't. I need to practice more this. I don't know. I retreat what I wanted to say. I showed you that pyrotechnics is boom. You don't know what to play. Okay. Holy cow.
You don't have that with this piece. You just have this really beautiful lyrical violin writing. And it's important to remember, too, Beethoven, of course, his main instrument was the piano, really renowned for his extraordinary virtuosity as a pianist and especially as an improviser at the piano. But Beethoven, of course, was also a very accomplished string player. Even from childhood, as a teenager, he played in the court orchestra in Bonn for the orchestra of the Elector, played the viola, actually, in that. But he was a very skilled string player, unlike, say, Johannes Brahms, who was a very gifted pianist also, but needed help from friends like the great violinist Joseph Joachim when Brahms sat down to write a violin concerto. Beethoven really knows what he's doing with the instrument.
Joachim, I thought that it was Isai that helped Brahms, not Joachim. Joachim? Really? Okay, Joachim it is.
He really knows how to utilize the instrument's many qualities. And of course, he knew Franz Clement.
My informations are wrong about the history of them, so let's just watch.
Personally, and knew his playing style and is really writing in a very sophisticated way for the instrument and for this particular soloist.
So many soloists have just, well, loved this piece for very obvious reasons. Another one that's popular today is Patricia Kopachinskaya. She is brilliant, and she's also written some great things about this concerto, in particular about the sound and some of the things that you were just saying, Evan. Here's what she wrote. One has also to mention the balance between orchestra and solo violin. Especially in recordings, the solo violin is often intrusively put into the foreground. This might be acceptable for concertos by Paganini or Mendelssohn, where indeed the violin is the hero accompanied by humble escorts. But in
Yes.
Beethoven's concerto, the main musical thoughts are mostly in the orchestra, and the solo violin plays around them in an improvisatory way. In this concerto, I often feel like
Yes, I agree this. In that era, in that period, it wasn't the idea that, oh, okay, I will do some sort of composition based on just the violin doing all the things like, I don't know, Wieniawski first violin concerto. It's just uh, a thing that makes it all much beautiful, much more beautiful.
small bird flying over a majestic landscape. I take my twists and turns and sometimes even disappear between the clouds. In fact, this concerto is a symphony for orchestra and improvising violin. That last sentence for me, Evan, totally changed how I hear this.
Yeah, I just find this such an insightful perspective on this concerto. And like you, John, it's hearing her comments on this really shapes the way, it makes me hear this concerto in a whole new way.
From the first entrance, it sounds improvisatory, like a bird flittering about, but not random. You see a bird, going around your yard. It's not, like a random number generator going any direction, but there's something going on. Speaking of bird-like, there's this violin trill in the soloist over the theme being played in the winds. It sounds very bird-like, it's very sweet, very delicate, very dolce. And I imagine this must have been in Clement's wheelhouse.
Yes.
And it also shows something in music and how you'll hear this played so many different ways. And that is, well, you have a long note with a trill. You don't just sit there and do a trill randomly, irrespective of what's happening around you. Here in this recording, we're hearing a lot of Janine Janssen, that's who we're listening to in a lot of these examples. The line is shaped. It may get louder, it gets softer. The vibrato might speed up or slow down. There's so many things that happen within just one line. And I'm sure many violinists have pretty, unhappy teachers or something at some moment saying, what are you doing? You're not doing enough here with this. You're not shaping it the way you should be with the wind line. You're supposed to hear those things even as you practice them.
It's deceptively difficult to play a whole note, 4 beats or whatever, playing a trill just on this 1 or 2 notes, and just kind of sustain that in a way that maintains interest and vitality. And, you have these great violinists like Janine Janssen.
Well, I can agree with that, but it's more of like inner practice until you don't need to feel anymore what are you doing with the left hand and also do the right hand, and you can just hear the theme and you can raise it or lower it by it. Because yes, even on the trill on the third part where you have there, and this like a temp okay.
Or Augustin Hadelich that we're listening to in this episode, who really understand this. And again, it gives us a sense that Beethoven must have had a real understanding of the instrument. And I would guess he had a real respect for Clement's ability to express these nuances in a performance.
This is marvelous, and I believe you can achieve a very safe violin play if you just focus a lot of the text in the first 2 months. No, in the first 1 month and a half. Like, try and learn it. Like, you just need to play it as you have the score in the face, but you don't have the score in the face. You need to learn how to control the bow in every passage, because even if you play in tune, if you don't manage your right hand, is it like you did nothing. Like, you need to think about all the pressure. How much bow do you use in some passages? How should the bow stay? All these things in order. And after that, you just need to feel it. And it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
One thing I want people to really come away with is what you said earlier, Evan. Beethoven being really economy of means, using very little to do a lot, especially with just a little quarter note line and all the things you can do and how it goes through all these different emotions. But there's so many times where, like a trill in the violin or just a little moment here and there, there's actually very little music happening. There is just a violin part, maybe a couple of things elsewhere. It is very, very, very sparse. So I think that's another reason why also soloists gravitate towards this, because there's so much you can do. And I mean, this is also a piece where you can really fall flat.
Yes, yes. You're very exposed in a situation like this, not just the violinists, but the orchestral instrumentalists who are also playing these very sparse passages. You know, we have this stereotype of Beethoven, everything is larger than life and grand and heroic, and that's certainly true. But Beethoven is also a genius at these very delicate moments where there appears to be very little happening on the surface, and then as we listen more closely, we're really discovering there's a whole world being unfolded.
Yes.
I had never really spent time looking at the score ever for this, and so looking at it was like, oh, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot happening right here in this section. In the middle, towards the middle, in the development section where we're deviating from D major, the quarter note motive is everywhere. And something that I like that Beethoven does here that maybe I don't hear in a lot of his other works are when he brings back the theme, it's brought back in a particular way that feels like a page is turning. And I'm talking about when the violinist is not playing. It feels like a page is turning and we're moving on to a new scene in like a diorama. And I found the place, Evan, where the quarter notes happen the most, because I was listening and thinking, well, who does this the most? Maybe it is not timpani, but it is in fact timpani, where it's just pounding away, or maybe not pounding, but there's a one section where it's hitting these quarter notes longer than anywhere else in the entire work.
This is part of the skill of Beethoven as a composer, where you have these constantly repeated motivic pieces like this quarter note, bum, 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 extremely simple. And it never gets tedious, it never feels overdone. It just...
I feel that I should let this for tomorrow at the coffee to listen until the end. Right now I'm very sleepy. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And maybe I can do a lot tomorrow. Okay. Right now I'm very sleepy. Okay, thank you for watching. Have a nice night, and repetition is the mother of learning. Mwah.